Imperial Testing Station Number 2. The Imperial Testing Stations featured in Dune Awakening harbor unique stories that are often overlooked by the player base. These stories bring an immersive spin on the already expansive game featured in the Dune universe. Our story starts with a monumental and brutalist structure built into a sandstone outcrop located in Dune's Haga Basin south. The concrete face of the Imperial Testing Station has been marked with a scavenger symbol, illustrating what these remnants of Arrakis' past have been repurposed for, sheltering outlaws and taboos alike. As we descend the stairs of the station, the interior is composed of what looks like rows of cold beige. It looks almost like it was printed instead of built. The station is adorned with decorations and furniture of the same likeness. At the bottom of the stairs, we are met with a Shigawire tape.
Collins has been acting real strange since finding that corpse with the Telexu satchel. I don't trust him. Keep an eye out next time you're out on a salvage run. If he starts acting weird, dart him.
For those who don't know, the Teleaxu, or Bene Teleaxu, are a race of secretive, genetically altered humans in the Dune universe. The Teleaxu nature of dealing with anything altered biologically or genetically conveys that a dire mistake had been made when meddling with the satchel. Essentially, everything starts with the scavenger being exposed to something, with implications of a biological hazard being released. As we descend into the Imperial Testing Station, there are a number of bodies strewn about along the way. Most seem to be freshly maimed. We are then confronted with a tree. Several bodies are hung from its branches. Most of the former testing station terrariums have been broken into or out of. The plants residing within them are overgrown, their branches like arms reaching out to grasp us, giving an eerie feeling of forgotten unkemptness. We then stumble upon a Solida projection of a man dressed in botanist attire who was repeating a message.
Welcome to Desert Botanical Testing Station number 2. I am the station supervisor, Dr. Rommel Greer. The ultimate mission of these stations is to find or engineer botanical species capable of thriving in the extremely arid conditions of Arrakis. A true challenge, as I'm sure any visitor who has traveled through the barren rocks and sand above will agree. Our first task has been the installation and testing of wind trap units, capable of reclaiming moisture from the atmosphere. I'm pleased to report complete success, both with the installation and functioning of these devices. The thriving vegetation you will find within these halls is a testament to the success of this technology.
The overgrown and hostile atmosphere is a stark contrast to what it once was described as. The next Shigawire tape we come across is through the path of some hostile scavengers desperate for any supplies that they can pawn off or subsist off of.
I thought I could trust Juice. But I know now that he's part of the plot, eh? I heard the worms out in the desert whispering to him last night, and the bastard whispered back. I did. They're all in league against me. All of them. But they won't get me if I get them first.
The narrator appears to be in some sort of mental distress, displaying feelings of paranoia towards his fellow scavengers. The narrator had formed a conspiracy that his fellow associates were scheming with the worms, and are out to get him. Something deeply wrong resides inside the testing station, and is affecting the scavengers. As we descend deeper into the Imperial Testing Station, the scavengers seem more off than usual, more unstable than desperate. The station seems to house something unnatural, a strange juxtaposition to the botanical nature this testing station was designed for. The next tape we find appears to depict the scavengers turning on each other.
Who are you leaving these messages for, eh? It's for the worms, isn't it? Yeah, the worms. Oh, yeah, your belly, it was full of worms, those big red ropey worms. But I let them out, didn't I?
The narrator of this tape has gone off the deep end, so to speak, turning on his allies. There is a body next to the tape. This seems to be the victim of the man speaking in the tape. The narrator disemboweled his victim, liking his innards to worms, because he believed his associates were conspiring with the worms to kill him. The victim is implied to be Druce, as he was said to be whispering to the worms, as mentioned in the previous tape. As we continue further into the station, we find a room that contains the remnants of a camping space, along with another tape.
Don't sleep. That's when they come for you. Blow on guns. Don't sleep. They're watching. Find a knife, or maybe a hammer. Either would be good, but both is better. Just don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep!
Sadly, the narrator of this tape couldn't keep his eyes open, as there are bodies strewn about the campfire and a trail of blood that seems to indicate a body being dragged deeper into the station. The next tape we find gives us insight into the psyche of these affected scavengers.
Beneath the hill where the fox runs lightly, a dappled sun shines brightly. Where the fox runs lightly, you can't hide from me, little bird. Where are you? Beneath the hill in the fennel brake. Spy, my love, who cannot wake. Go away! Go away! There's the little bird. Gotcha! Ah!
The narrator is reciting a poem to comfort herself, while there are distant shouts and threats drawing closer to the origin of the tape. She's being hunted. Unfortunately, her pleas fell on deaf ears, as there's a body hanging from a tree branch next to the tape. Once we make our way through more of the scavengers, we enter a large room with a colossal tree. Its branches, wretched and crooked, are adorned with the bodies of other scavengers, weaving a macabre portrait. At its base lies a nauseous gas, along with a man equipped with a Holtzman's shield and blade. Once defeated, there is a tape on the ground next to a table at the base of the tree.
Once the beast has made his selection, return the remaining items to Bijaz at once. Exercise all due caution in the handling of these items, as the bioagents contained within are unstable and may prove extremely hazardous.
The tape explains that the beast, also known as Glasu Raban, nephew of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, had requested or purchased an extremely hazardous and unstable bioagent from Bijaz, a Tleilaxu master. This is certainly for nefarious reasons, as are most Harkonnen dealings. The next tape is located in front of a doorway beyond the titanic tree and its threatening company.
Yeah. So then he comes in here saying, "Hey, boss, what's that weird smell? That weird smell?" Just like that he does, just like that, yeah? Yeah, and then he says, "What's wrong with the plants in here? They look sick. Maybe we should trim them back." That's what he said. He said that. Those exact words, that's what he said. He said, "Trim them back. Trim them back." Oh, yeah. So you know what I did? You know what I did? I trimmed him back. Oh, yeah. I trimmed him back real good. Just...
In this tape, a scavenger, who was possibly from the campfire due to both narrators sounding similar, had been displaying symptoms similar to others who had come into contact with the Tleilaxu biotoxin. The tape mentions sick plants, so we can assume that the nauseous gas permeating the room seems to be coming from the base of the tree. So it seems that a scavenger that made it down to the final level of the testing station had been exposed to the Tleilaxu biotoxin, aerosolized somehow by the station's foliage. This fragmented his mind, making him turn on his associates. This tape could also be taken as an account from the station boss. However, I personally think that the station boss was there to recover the vials for Bijaz due to his fighting prowess and professional gear. The final tape is located in a room on top of a table, past the toxic tree and station boss. It gives us context into the characters at play.
Collins and Omar from Broken Land Trek. 2 Doomans still suits, full of holes, stained, sun-bleached, junked. One Atreides House Trooper rucksack, serviceable, Omar will keep. One Tleilaxu-made satchel with several vials. Opened the vial, but it was empty, smelled bad. Junked. 3 thumpers, fair to poor condition, selling windsack.
So it seems that Collins and Omar were not the start of this series of events, but instead the continuation of them. The final Shigewire tape seems to imply that Collins and Omar had successfully made it through the testing station without succumbing to any biohazards, but unknowingly Collins exposed himself to the Tleilaxu toxin by opening a vial. This is further supported by the first tape found near the entrance, stating that Collins had been acting strange recently. The rest of the pieces fall into place with these last few tapes. It seems like Lasu Raban, or the Beast, had ordered a biotoxin that induces some sort of violent and paranoid psychosis in victims who come in contact with it. Very in character for the brutish nephew of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. This biotoxin was engineered by the Bene Tleilaxu, belonging to or distributed by Bijaz. Somehow, the biotoxin had been mishandled and tainted the testing station, making the scavengers who ventured into the station fall victim to its effects. The plants in this testing station somehow exacerbated the spread of the biotoxin, as the second to last tape mentions that they looked sick. I assume that this means that somehow it got into the water supply, and all of the plants were affected with this toxin. This toxin turned a once flourishing botanical testing station into a thicket harboring a toxic miasma that rips apart the minds of those who enter it. And worst of all, it seems that Omar and Collins have left the station with the biotoxin. The last tape records that the Tleilaxu satchel that is mentioned in the first tape was taken right before the exit of the station.